What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another episode of Police Simulator Patrol Officers. I hope you all are doing fantastic. Today's video is going to be a little different, guys. I'll explain here in a second, but we are going to take a look at the future of Police Simulator Patrol Officers. We are going to be looking at the roadmap, essentially the future plans for Police Sim. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Alrighty, guys, so this right here is the roadmap, aka the future plans for Police Simulator Patrol Officers. It is on Trello. I think I'm pronouncing that right, and I will put a link in the description below to this roadmap for you guys to view on your own time if you want to go ahead and do that. But this essentially is going to tell us everything that we want to know about future plans. This is all the feedback that they're getting from the community, the developers that they're getting back from the community, like ourselves. So real quick, what I want to do is I want to go over this key over here to kind of explain the different colorings and what they mean. All right, so this first light shade color of green pretty much says that this item or this update or whatnot has actually shipped. You're not going to see this color of green until probably way over here. We'll get to that here later in the video, but we'll just keep going down. Yellow means that indicates that development of this piece has completed and it is ready to ship, but they're waiting for an appropriate update to put that said thing in with the update. Moving on, purple indicates that they started working on the piece and they have no idea when they're going to get it finished. So that means it's been greenlit. They're working on putting it into PSPO, and they're just not sure when they're going to get it done yet. Moving on, this dark colored green, which you're going to see quite often, especially right now, the way I've got the screen. It's a community feedback or item that has been greenlit and subsequently implemented into the game. So not only is it going to be a new item per se, but it's going to be something that someone put down feedback wise of like, hey, can you fix this? This is acting this way, so on and so forth. So moving on, you've got this lightly colored blue color, and this is community feedback or item which has evaluated and greenlit for future development. So essentially what that is that's going to be something that someone has put their thoughts down and kind of requested something. Developers have looked at it and they said, you know what, yeah, we can go ahead and do that. A really good example is going to be this first row or this first column right here, and we'll get to that here in a second. We've got two more things to look at in this key right here. So the next one's going to be this dark color blue one, which indicates that work has been not started on this piece, but they're evaluating the scope, the fit, and all other constraints and possibilities. So essentially they're wanting to put this item or this piece into PSPO, but they're not sure when to put it in. They're making sure that they can put it in because of what it could change for the game, what it could not change for the game, so on and so forth. Last but not least, on this key, we've got the red label, which essentially means that for the time being, they've decided not to put this item in PSPO for the foreseeable future. That could change, but for right now, it's not going to happen. So let's go ahead and I'm going to leave this key right here how it is, and we're just going to go kind of quick, but kind of take our time on some things left to right, and I'm going to kind of show you what they've got planned for PSPO, what's in the works, what's kind of been waiting for the appropriate update, so on and so forth. So let's get right into it. So the very first thing, new duty, help critically injured people. So that sounds to me like a new call out to where, you know, essentially someone gets hit. It's a hit and run. We've got that down here. I kind of jumped the gun on that, but a 911 call of a hit and run. So that's essentially been greenlit and ready for the game, but they're just waiting for the right update to put this in. So I think these two kind of connect to one another. Maybe they're a little bit different, maybe not, I don't know, but these are definitely happening. We just don't know when they're going to get put in the game. So next thing, which I think is kind of a nice touch, is going to be the ambulance driver is going to use a stretcher for injured people, rather than having them just, you know, go over to them and be like, hey, how you doing, you okay, can you walk to the ambulance for further evaluation, blah blah blah. You all know how it goes. They're going to come with a stretcher now, put the person on the stretcher. I don't know how exactly they're gonna do that animation per se, but they're gonna get the person on the stretcher and then take the person on the stretcher back to the ambulance, which, you know, makes it seem more real and more real life. All right, moving on. Next one we got is giving players the ability to change the balancing for various aspects of the game. To me, that just kind of sounds like they're gonna give us more essentially customization to certain aspects of the game. Don't ask me what, because I don't know the details, but I think that's kind of cool. You can make your minor adjustments to certain aspects at your own pleasure, really. Moving on, more modding options to adjust your vehicles beyond the presets. That would be really nice if, you know, we could essentially, you know, tweak the suspension on our cop cars. We could tweak, you know, how hard we brake and stuff like that. Just like kind of adjustments that you would see in like racing games and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. All right, moving on, we've got more modding options to adjust your character beyond the presets. I'm not really sure what all that entails, but I'm assuming that there's gonna be like a character creation, possibly is what I'm interpreting that to be. I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but I think that's pretty cool. That way you can kind of customize your character, you know, give them the color hair you want, color eyes, nose, jaw, all that stuff. I think that's really neat. Moving on, able to restock equipment inside the precinct. I don't think that's a huge thing, but it would be nice if let's say you're taking a suspect in to get booked, and you can go ahead, head over to the evidence room or whatnot, go ahead, reload all your tools, head back out. That may be a little bit handy. A working coffee machine and a donut stand you can interact with. I think that would be kind of cool, honestly. To me, it kind of makes it feel more real, honestly, because, you know, we associate cops with liking donuts and coffee, and, you know, they pull all-nighters. Maybe you're doing a night shift or something, you want coffee, you go to the precinct, go up to the coffee machine, get some coffee. I think that'd be a nice little touch. All right, and then the last two in this column we got right here is suspicious ATM activity. That would be interesting. I'm not really sure how they're gonna implement this into the game. I honestly haven't even seen ATMs. I'm sure they're in there, honestly. I'm sure there are ATMs in there. Now that I think about it, yeah, there is ATMs in the game already. But yeah, to have someone kind of like, you know, get money out of the ATM somehow and then, you know, get them for larceny or whatever it is, that would be something different and something cool. And then something we all probably want for many reasons is basic multiplayer communication options. Being able to get in a chat or have a chat in the multiplayer games would be very helpful, because communication, especially for games like this, is key, because then you can coordinate with your partner if you're doing multiplayer gameplay, which I think is a huge thing. So essentially all these are going to be implemented in the game at some point in time. We're just not sure when. They're just waiting for the right update to put this stuff in so it kind of flows and they're not just, you know, chucking stuff in willy-nilly. Alrighty guys, so moving on to the second column right here, we've got 3 things to go over real quick. Modding for consoles. I hear a lot of people comment on my videos. This isn't the biggest thing. The biggest thing is going to be the next kind of point, but we'll get to that here in a second. So modding for consoles, I think, is going to be huge for our console people, our console players, because, you know, when you're kind of, I've been kind of on that train for a while now. I didn't really start doing PC stuff until, you know, about a year-ish. So consoles and playing with PCs you're kind of feeling left out with the modding and stuff. So having the ability to get the mods on your vehicles and your characters and pretty much everything that the PC players can do would be really cool, I think, for the console players. Alrighty guys, this is probably the biggest comment that I get on my Police Simulator videos, and I'm gonna kind of take my time with this to do the best job I can kind of explaining why this has not been implemented in the game yet, and what I think they should do. So bear with me here. So self-defense, evaluation of having a justified reason for using a service pistol. I get a lot of people asking or commenting saying, hey, I want to have a shootout, I want to be able to use my pistol. You know, if a suspect has a firearm and I'm like patting them down and I see it and I, you know, retrieve it from, you know, why wasn't I able to get in a shootout with them before I got, you know, I went and subdued them and pat them down and all this stuff. So this is something that the developers, from what I know of, and maybe there's more information out there for you guys to find, I encourage you to go do some more research on your own time to find out more if you'd like. But from what I understand from an article I read a couple months back, actually, the developers are wanting to put service pistols in the game. There's a couple issues with that though. So issue number one is that right now the game, how it stands, is rated T for teen. Now, if they were to implement this service pistol into the game, there is a lot of probable cause that they might have to adjust the rating to M because you're using a firearm. And then with that being said, if they were to do that, they're worried that a lot of their younger players, it would kind of hurt their player base for the younger players that play this right now. So that's, and I don't know if that's exactly how they worded it, but that's, from what I can remember, the best way I interpreted that. So don't quote me 100% on that. It's been a while since I read that article, but that's what I remember from what they wrote, and they were kind of explaining was the rating from T to M is the first thing. The second thing is it takes a lot of work to go ahead and get, you know, all the animations for the shootout, you know, all kind of like the AI, not really AI stuff, but like I'm gonna call it GTA copycat, because that's kind of the best way I can think of it right now. There's probably a better term for that, but it's gonna take some work. Now, don't be too frustrated, because this is actually something they want to do. They just want to make sure that they do it right before they put it in, because it's gonna change the game immensely. It's probably going to be one of the biggest changes in the game for a long time, probably. And then last but not least, in this column right here, we've got additional DLCs and add-ons. So they don't really specify what DLC or add-on, but they are continuously thinking and trying to figure out of brand new stuff to put in the game with the DLCs and the add-ons. All right, guys, so moving on to this fourth column right here. This is gonna be everything that was recommended from the community. So from you and from me, someone typed this up and said, hey, I would like to see this in the game or that. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think any of this has been implemented and ready to go in the game, besides these ones that are green. So like the building interiors, so you can enter shops, restaurants, apartments, gas stations. So they're essentially saying, hey, so if we go back over here, they're saying, hey, we talked it over and we would love to do that. We just need to figure out when to go ahead and put it in the game. So AI NPC officers backup, request support from fellow officers with their cars. This is something that I've heard on in my comments and videos, a lot of having some backup. You know, they haven't done anything with it yet, so they to my best understanding, they probably are still discussing and trying to figure out if they would like to do that. I personally think that would be an awesome thing to do. I would love to see that. but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes on. Car chases, not just pedestrians running away. Now even cars try to flee. Also, the use of spike strips. That would be awesome. And that is something, because we've got the green right here. They're just trying to figure out when to put it in the game. That's going to be something super fun. That's going to change the game a lot, because then you have to be really on your toes when you pull a car over and you start talking to the person. They could potentially take off at any time. So that would be something really fun. All right, guys, in the next column right here, I'm not gonna go over every little thing because there's quite a bit in this column. I'm just gonna go over some of the things that they have green lit. So customer refusing to leave. So I think they're going back to, like, if you're back to, what was it, over here, the building interior. So if you're in a building, you know, restaurant or a gas station or something, the clerk is having a problem with the customer, you go and try and, you know, resolve the dispute. Customer is refusing to leave, and then you kind of go from there. I think that would kind of play into the realism, honestly, with this building interiors. Moving on, we've got the single car collisions. Not really sure what all that entails per se, but I think that, again, that would add to the realism of the game. I would love to see that. Onlookers, for example, at accident sites, filming the crash, especially hurt people. I think we already have this in the game. It doesn't say that it's in the game per se because of this. If it did, it would have this lighter shade of green right here, but it only has this darker shade. So I don't know what they would change to what we already have in the game, because we've got people who are kind of on the sidewalk with their phones out and stuff, and then you go and interview them and try to figure out what they saw, what information you can get out of them. Moving on real quick, texting while driving. That would make it really realistic. And then not wearing a seatbelt. Again, it would add to the realism. Would love to see that. All right, moving on, we've got NPCs resisting arrest or not cooperating. We kind of already have that. I don't know how exactly they would change how it already is going on in the game. Maybe there's more of, like, you know, you go to, like, grab the person to handcuff them and they kind of slip away from you or something like that. Because we do have it in the game to where while you're searching them, they will just take off running and then you go chase them or whatnot. So I'm not really sure what they would change with that per se. Street names being displayed on the map, that would definitely be helpful with navigation, given the fact of how crummy the GPS can be sometimes. Hopefully they fixed it in this last tackling update. So far I haven't had much issue with it. More interactions between pedestrians, talking and shouting. I honestly, personally, for me, I don't really like it when I've got pedestrians kind of, you know, getting in my way when I'm trying to find someone or something like that. It definitely adds to realism, but for me, it's kind of annoying. So maybe that's a good thing though, because, you know, it adds to realism. Improving the officer belt and tool handling for more realism. That would be awesome. New unlocks, collect deputy stars to unlock clothing, alternative tool designs, etc. I think that would be awesome to have some kind of duty star system to where you can get, you know, like it says in here, different kinds of tools, different designs, different police uniforms. Maybe that would be awesome. Different camera angles for the car when you're driving, that would be awesome. And then I'm pretty sure we already have this with ELS modding options. So we've got police transport, ambulance. I think that would be kind of cool if you could do that. You know, if you get a transport, you can, you know, deck out the transport, you can change how the ambulances look, so on and so forth. All right, guys, so moving on to the next one. I'm not gonna go through every single one of these, or actually I will. I'll just be really quick, really brief, because there's a lot in here, and I want to get through at least the next two columns before we get done with this video. So real quick, having a notepad to keep info on hand. I kind of see our officers kind of do that when we interview someone. I don't know if they actually mean like if we would have a notepad that we could actually type down notes ourselves on or not. Illegal items and inventories should be color coded. That would be kind of nice, because then you get a better, it's easier to organize stuff and see where stuff's at. Birds, I'm fine with the birds not being in there, but if someone wants birds in there, that's cool. Support for steering wheels, I think that would be really cool if you have a steering and pedal setup. For when you're in the cop car, that would make it feel a lot more realistic. That would be really cool. Having more illegal items, weapons for inventory. I think that's more of like more illegal stuff that they put in the game that you have to go find. Not really sure entirely what they mean by that, but that's just my take on it. High visibility tests, I think that is kind of one of the tests that officers can do in the real world that they would like to see implemented in this game. So maybe it's like, you know, they give them the pen test or something like that, or walk in a straight line, or maybe it's like stand on one leg, count the alphabet as far as you can go, something like that. Maybe being able to use a radar gun inside the police car. I don't really use the radar gun all that much. I know you can pace a car while you're in the cop car, but what I would like to do, and this is probably what they mean by this, is I would kind of like to just find a nice spot, just park, and just kind of radar people as they go by. If they're speeding, you know, pull out, go after them, get them a ticket, warning, whatever they need. And then this one, guys, photo mode. I would absolutely love a photo mode. It would make my thumbnails so much better for you guys, and I could get some really cool shots. I'm sure a lot of us could get some really interesting, cool shots if we had a photo mode. Would 100% love to see when that comes out. Asking for directions, being able to tell that they don't know where the place is. Again, I would love to have this, because most of the time when someone asks for directions, I have no clue where anything is most of the time. Police batons as a alternative to the stun gun, that would be interesting. Some new achievements, informal pop-up on the HUD once you enter a new district or neighborhood. That would be cool if you're in Nelson Hills and you go over to like Brianna, or you go over to some other district. If it gives you kind of like a breakdown about the neighborhood, that would be cool. Mod menu in the main menu, that would be awesome. More ambient sounds, being able to cancel conversations, that would be awesome. Toggle to sprint, optional, so like if you're able to turn on and off the ability to toggle your sprinting. Free camera to turn around 360. I would like this also, because when you are moving your camera around, your guy or gal's face will follow the camera, and you can't essentially get shots or look around the way you want to sometimes. Being able to disable the HUD to create some awesome screenshots. Again, I'm a YouTuber, so this would be very beneficial on my behalf. Option to switch to different date format. Cool. I mean, yeah, do it. Wanted suspects listed on the wall of the precinct. That would be awesome. Co-op partner being able to accept his own callouts. They're not going to do anything with that, it looks like, but all these with the dark green look like they're going to be something that the devs have said, hey, we want to put this in the game, but we're not really sure when, but it's in the works. Alrighty guys, and then we're almost done here. Hang with me here. So this column right here, this is stuff that is not, for the time being, is not going to be implemented in the game. This 4-player co-op multiplayer. I asked this question when I first started playing the game, was kind of bummed out when I saw this. But honestly, to be honest guys, let's get real here. If you are having issues with just one other person, how is the game going to be able to handle 3 other people if it can't just handle one other person in the game? So I think this is one of the reasons why they're saying, hey, 4-player co-op is not going to happen right now for the time being, because they've got some other stuff to figure out first before they can do that, is my take on it. Weather conditions, I think that'd be kind of cool, but they're saying no, we're not going to do weather conditions. Advanced day off, no duty, no shift, just being a civilian, play within the game. They're saying no, we're not going to do that. It's just you're a police officer on duty. Although I think that would be cool if you were like an off-duty police officer. But that would take a lot of work to kind of put in the game and stuff like that. Moving on, career ladders with ranks without departments. That's not going to happen. Although that would be kind of cool if you had, like, you know, if a private, staff sergeant, commander, captain, so on and so forth. That would be kind of interesting. All right, guys, moving on. City buses, driving buses in the city, as well as accidents. passengers and callouts for it. Not really sure what they mean by that, but I'm guessing what they're asking is, hey, can you put buses in the game and can we drive them? And they're essentially saying, no, we're not going to do that for the time being, at least. And then patrol cart. Not really sure what patrol cart means. Maybe like a little scooter thing is what I'm thinking. Maybe they're saying no to that. More than one NPC within an MPV. They're saying no to that. Alrighty guys, and then this last column right here that I want to go over with you is issues that they know are in the game and they're trying to fix them. So we've got the light green one, which is saying, hey, this is going to get put in the game, or this is in the game right now. So crash, fatal error. So I guess the game crashes a bunch. I've had it happen to me still. They know it's an issue. I'm assuming, trying to fix it still. Player being hit by an MPVs is sent flying, leading to shift fail. Clipping vehicles, the ambulance transports and the MPVs. I've been seeing that too. They know it's an issue, guys. They're working on it. Floating cars, I've seen plenty of screenshots. I've actually experienced the floating cars. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the floating car glitch as well. They're going to be working on that. Save games lost after exiting to the main menu or leaving the game. I personally haven't had that happen to me, but I know it's an issue as well because I also get comments on that on my videos and stuff asking how do I retrieve a game or something if it didn't save right. And then last but not least, widescreen or ultra widescreen monitors. You know, if you've got one monitor and the display kind of messes up and stuff like that, but they're also they know that's an issue, and that looks like it's implemented and in the game as well for the fix. Anyways, everything else, guys, past this column right here is stuff that is already in the game. So for example, this tackling update, it just kind of breaks down for you what they've got. So the tackling update, tackle fleeing suspect, mini map while on foot now, and then you've got the 2 new DLC vehicles. So guys, I know that was a whole lot of information I just threw at you. But I'm gonna go ahead once again and put the link to this roadmap down in the description below, so you can take a look at it on your own time and kind of take your time, look at stuff and see how it changes throughout time, because they definitely update this. Want to hear your thoughts on this, guys? I'd love to hear what you think about all this information that I have given you. With all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this answered some questions for you guys and made some things clearer. If you enjoyed this kind of stuff, I know this was a little bit different from a normal patrol and stuff, but I felt like this is something that you guys would be thankful for, and it would help you guys understand where this game is going in the future. But with all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that subscribe button. It's going to be the easiest way to keep track of videos in the future. Also hit that like button for me. It's going to help me out a bunch. I'd really appreciate it. But with all that being said, guys, take care, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.